Welcome. In this video, we're going to talk about the JavaScript modules in the API. So these are Node.js, JavaScript APIs that you can add to your components. So in this case, we're going to be talking about when you actually have two different APIs. Let's call this one test1, and the second one we're going to call test2. And they have some kind of common code that they need to share. So how do we do that in this environment? So let's say test1 and test2, they both have, and let's add our buttons as well to call them. So let's add a little button over here. Let me just increase the font size a bit so that we can see it, and maybe add a little padding. And some margin. All right, and then let's duplicate this. Let's call this one test1, and this is going to be test2. All right, so when I click on this test1 button, what I want it to happen is, so let's add the click event for this. So what we want to do is, I just want to simply alert. So because the call API is an async call, we have to use async await, and we're going to be calling the API test1 over here for the first button click, and for the second button click, if you look at the, we're going to add a JavaScript event handler there as well on button 2 click. And this is going to be doing the same thing, except it's going to be calling test2. Okay. Sorry. So we need to add an async over here as well. Okay. So now we actually have two different buttons that are going to be calling the APIs. One of them returns test1, the other one returns test2. So we can test it out. Yeah. When I click on test1, it prints test1. So this is actually coming from the server API. And when I click on this, it just returns test. Let's just update that to return test2. And when I click on it, so now it says test2. Okay, so let's say there is some kind of common code, utilities, library, or you may have some common secret value, whatever you want to share between these. So how do we do that? So when you click on the API, there's this section here called the JS modules, and there's also the NPM libraries for third-party dependencies. But this is the one that we're going to be talking about, the JS modules. So when I click on that, I can actually add a new JS module. So in this case, let's call this info. Let's say this is going to be fetching some kind of information from somewhere. And normally this would be doing a fetch call or whatever, but in this case, let's say we actually received the information, and that's hello world. Let's make it up. So this is basically a JavaScript module that's now referenced by this API. So what we can do here is import info from info. So this is how we can actually import it. And the function that we added there, if you look at it, the function that we added here, it's a simple function that returns the word, the string hello world. So when we come over here, we're going to be doing import info from info, and that's going to be a function value that we're getting. And then we can actually use it over here to basically return whatever that's sending us. And we can do the same thing for test2. So in this case, we're going to be putting test2 over here. And yeah, they're doing the exact same thing. So except now they actually have, we need to import it over here as well. So, but now we can actually reference the same module that we created in the other one. So we don't actually have to import it again. Okay, so now we actually, if I edit this, it's the same module. I can access from test1 or test2 API. It's the same module that's being referenced by both of them. If I change on this one on test2, and I go to test1, and it's still changed here as well. Okay, so now when I click on this, it says test1, hello world 2. And when I click on this, it's going through the second API, and now it's returning the same information. And so this is very, very valuable whenever you're developing a large-scale application where you actually have to have common code between different API calls. One of them may be getting some information from a table. The other one may be updating it and then returning the same information. So there are a lot of different cases where you're going to be needing the same code. This is a principle called dry. Don't replicate yourself. Don't repeat yourself. Sorry. Yeah, so that's why it's very, very important to be able to have this common modules where you can share code between different APIs. All right. Thank you very much for watching.